Imagine standing at the edge of a challenge. It's uncomfortable, uncertain, maybe even a little terrifying. Most people step back. But the strongest among us, they step forward. Mentally strong people aren't born that way, they're made. They develop habits that allow them to rise when others retreat, to thrive where others struggle. And today, I want to share 5 habits that set them apart. Growth is never easy. If it were, everyone would do it. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who evolve is simple. Mentally strong people lean into discomfort. They don't shy away from difficult conversations, challenging tasks, or unfamiliar situations. Because they know on the other side of discomfort is progress. Life throws curveballs. Plans fail. People disappoint us. But strong people understand one truth. While they can't control what happens, they can control how they respond. Instead of complaining or giving up, they ask, what can I learn from this? How can I move forward? And that shift in mindset makes all the difference. When things get hard, mentally strong people don't rely on motivation, it fades. Instead, they rely on purpose. A deep, unwavering why that fuels their resilience. Purpose keeps them grounded when doubt creeps in. It's not about being the best, it's about making an impact, about something bigger than themselves. It's easy to seek instant gratification, scrolling instead of studying, quitting instead of pushing through. But mentally strong people play the long game. They trade momentary comfort for long-term growth. They know that true success isn't found in shortcuts, but in the discipline of showing up again and again. Strength isn't just an individual pursuit. It's built in community. Mentally strong people are intentional about their circle. They seek out those who challenge them, who inspire them, who push them to be better. Because the right people don't just support us, they sharpen us. Imagine a moment when you were faced with something difficult. Maybe it was a tough conversation, a challenge at work, or a personal goal that seemed just out of reach. What did you do? Did you lean into it or did you step back, waiting for an easier path? The truth is, most people avoid discomfort. It's natural. Our brains are wired for survival, to seek safety, to stay in familiar territory. But here's the paradox. Growth and comfort cannot coexist. The most mentally strong people understand this, and instead of avoiding discomfort, they embrace it. They recognize that every moment of struggle, every ounce of discomfort, is an opportunity to grow stronger. Think about the most successful athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders. What do they all have in common? They didn't get where they are by doing what was easy. They pushed through pain, uncertainty, and self-doubt. They got comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's not that they don't feel fear or hesitation. It's that they refuse to let it dictate their actions. Consider someone training for a marathon. The first run is painful. The body resists, the mind screams for them to stop. But they push through. The next day they do it again. Over time, what was once unbearable becomes normal. That's the power of embracing discomfort. The more you lean into it, the more you expand your capacity to handle it. What once seemed impossible eventually becomes second nature. Now let's apply this to everyday life. Maybe you're in a job that doesn't challenge you, but you stay because it's comfortable. Maybe there's a conversation you've been avoiding because it's too awkward or difficult. Maybe there's a goal you've wanted to pursue, but every time you start, the discomfort makes you hesitate. This is where growth lies, right on the other side of that discomfort. Mentally strong people don't wait for the fear to disappear. They act in spite of it. They know that every time they push through, they're building resilience, shaping their mindset, and expanding their potential. It's not about being fearless, it's about being courageous. And courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move forward anyway. This is why some people seem to rise while others remain stuck. The ones who grow are the ones who step into discomfort, who take risks, who challenge themselves. They know that pain is temporary, but growth is permanent. The moment you stop running from discomfort and start seeing it as a tool, everything changes. So, the next time you feel that hesitation, that internal resistance telling you to back away from something hard, ask yourself, what if this is exactly what I need? Instead of retreating, step forward. Instead of avoiding, engage. Because every challenge, every difficult moment is shaping you into someone stronger. And the best part, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. What once felt impossible will one day feel like second nature. But only if you choose to embrace discomfort. Life is unpredictable. No matter how much we plan, prepare, or try to control the world around us, things will go wrong. People will disappoint us, unexpected challenges will arise, and situations will not always go our way. But here's what separates mentally strong people from the rest. They understand that while they can't control everything that happens, they can always control how they respond. Most people react impulsively. When something doesn't go as planned, they get frustrated, angry, or discouraged. They let emotions dictate their actions, often making the situation worse. But mentally strong people take a different approach. They pause. They assess. They choose their response wisely. This small but powerful shift makes all the difference. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting. You have two options. You can slam your hands on the steering wheel, stress yourself out, and let frustration take over. Or you can accept that you can't change the traffic, use the time to collect your thoughts, and show up to the meeting composed instead of flustered. The situation is the same, the only difference is how you choose to respond. This principle applies to every aspect of life. Whether it's dealing with criticism, handling failure, or facing a difficult conversation, mentally strong people don't allow emotions to control them. They train themselves to pause and ask, what's the best way to handle this? Instead of reacting out of frustration, they respond with clarity. Take the example of someone receiving negative feedback. Most people immediately feel defensive. Their ego takes over and they either argue or shut down, but a mentally strong person sees feedback as an opportunity to improve. They don't take it personally. They separate their emotions from the situation and focus on what they can learn. That ability to control their response allows them to grow where others remain stuck. Think about great leaders, athletes, or successful individuals. They all share this mindset. When a crisis happens, they don't panic. When plans fail, they don't complain. They adapt, adjust, and find a way forward. Because they understand that success isn't about having a perfect life, but about mastering their reaction to challenges. This isn't about ignoring emotions. Mentally strong people feel frustration, disappointment, and even anger, but they don't let those emotions dictate their actions. They acknowledge them, process them, and then choose a response that aligns with their goals and values. It's a skill that can be developed. The next time something doesn't go your way, take a moment before reacting. Ask yourself, is my reaction helping me or hurting me? If it's not serving you, change it. Over time, this practice becomes second nature. You'll find that you're less reactive, more in control, and better equipped to handle whatever life throws at you. Because at the end of the day, your power doesn't come from controlling external circumstances, it comes from controlling yourself. And the strongest people understand that true strength lies in mastering their response. There will be days when motivation fades, days when you feel exhausted, when the obstacles seem too big, and when the voice in your head tells you to quit. This is where most people stop. They lose interest, lose energy, and eventually give up. But mentally strong people don't rely on motivation alone, they stay rooted in purpose. Purpose is the deeper reason behind what you do. It's not just about making money, achieving success, or checking off goals. It's about meaning. It's about waking up every morning knowing that what you're doing matters. When people have a strong sense of purpose, they become unstoppable. They push through difficulties not because it's easy, but because they know why they are doing it. Think of the people who inspire you the most. The ones who overcome massive obstacles, who keep going when everything is against them. What keeps them moving forward? It's not just talent, intelligence, or even discipline, it's purpose. A sense of mission. A belief that what they're working toward is bigger than their temporary struggles. When you look at someone like an Olympic athlete, it's easy to focus on their physical strength. But what's even more impressive is their mental strength. They train for years, enduring pain, setbacks, and failures. If they relied on motivation alone, they would quit the moment things got tough. But they don't, because they have a deep-rooted why, a purpose that keeps them going when motivation disappears. This applies to all areas of life. If you're working a job you don't care about, every challenge will feel like a burden. If you're chasing a goal just because it looks good on paper, the moment things get hard, you'll want to quit. But when you have a strong purpose, difficulties don't feel like roadblocks, they feel like stepping stones. Mentally strong people take time to define their purpose. They ask themselves, why am I doing this? What impact do I want to make? What legacy do I want to leave? And when things get tough, they don't let frustration or doubt derail them. Instead, they remind themselves of their purpose and use it as fuel. The key is to connect everything you do to something meaningful. If you're starting a business, ask yourself why it matters. If you're working hard at a job, find the deeper reason behind it. Maybe it's to provide for your family, to develop skills, or to make a difference in your industry. When you align your actions with purpose, challenges become easier to navigate. And here's the thing, purpose isn't something you find once and never think about again. It's something you reaffirm daily. It's the anchor that keeps you steady in the storm. The difference between those who give up and those who push forward isn't that one group has an easier path. It's that one group has a stronger purpose. So if you ever feel stuck, lost, or unmotivated, don't just look for inspiration, look for purpose. Because when you have a reason strong enough, nothing can stop you. We live in a world that celebrates instant gratification. Everything is designed to be faster, easier, and more convenient. If you're hungry, you can order food with a tap. If you're bored, you can scroll endlessly for entertainment. If something is difficult, there's always a shortcut promising quicker results. But mentally strong people understand a fundamental truth: real success, real fulfillment doesn't come from taking the easy way out. It comes from playing the long game. Most people give in to short-term relief. They procrastinate instead of working on their goals because watching one more episode feels easier. They quit exercising after a few weeks because results don't come fast enough. They avoid difficult conversations because temporary peace feels more comfortable than uncomfortable honesty. But here's the problem: every time we choose short-term relief, we trade it for long-term fulfillment. And that trade is almost never worth it. Mentally strong people operate differently. They resist the temptation of instant gratification because they know that anything truly worthwhile takes time. They don't chase quick fixes or easy wins. They focus on building something meaningful, something lasting. They understand that success isn't about what's convenient in the moment, it's about what will matter years from now. Think about the difference between someone who saves money consistently versus someone who spends impulsively. The spender enjoys the thrill of a new purchase but struggles with financial stress later. The saver sacrifices in the short term but builds long-term security. This principle applies to everything: health, relationships, career, personal growth. The choices we make daily either move us closer to our long-term goals or further away from them. Consider an athlete training for a championship. They wake up early, train for hours, and push through exhaustion. They could sleep in. They could take it easy. But they don't eat because they understand that the pain of discipline now is better than the pain of regret later. They know that every rep, every sacrifice is an investment in something bigger. The same applies to personal growth. Learning a new skill, building a business, or developing strong relationships takes time and effort. It's not always fun. There are moments of frustration, setbacks, and doubt. But mentally strong people stay committed because they are focused on the bigger picture. They don't let temporary discomfort derail them from long-term success. So how do you develop this habit? Start by recognizing when you're about to trade long-term fulfillment for short-term relief. When you feel the urge to procrastinate, to quit, to take the easy way out, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me get where I want to be? If the answer is no, resist the impulse. Small choices, repeated over time, lead to massive results. At the end of the day, the people who achieve the most aren't necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They are the ones who consistently make decisions that serve their future selves. Because they know that true success isn't found in quick wins, it's built through patience, discipline, and a commitment to the long game. The people you spend the most time with shape who you become. Their beliefs, habits, and mindsets influence yours, often without you even realizing it. Mentally strong people understand this, which is why they are intentional about who they allow into their lives. They don't just surround themselves with people who make them feel comfortable, they surround themselves with people who challenge them to grow. Most people don't pay much attention to their environment. They stay in circles that drain their energy, limit their thinking, and reinforce bad habits. They remain in friendships or relationships out of familiarity, even when those connections no longer serve them. But mentally strong people take a different approach. They know that if they want to reach new levels in life, they need to be around people who inspire them, push them, and hold them accountable. Imagine trying to become healthier while spending all your time with people who dismiss exercise and encourage bad eating habits. No matter how strong your willpower is, their influence will eventually wear you down. Now, imagine surrounding yourself with people who prioritize fitness, who challenge you to be better, who celebrate discipline. Suddenly, making healthy choices becomes easier, not harder. This is the power of the right environment. This doesn't mean cutting people out of your life carelessly. It means being mindful of who has the most influence over you. Are they lifting you up or holding you back? Are they encouraging your growth or reinforcing your doubts? The strongest people choose relationships that align with their values and their vision. They build a circle of trust, support, and accountability. This is especially important during tough times. When challenges arise, weak relationships crumble under pressure, but strong relationships, they become the foundation that keeps you going. When you surround yourself with people who believe in you, it's easier to keep believing in yourself. When you're around people who refuse to let you quit, you push through obstacles that might have otherwise stopped you. Building the right circle takes effort. It requires seeking out mentors, forming connections with like-minded people, and sometimes letting go of relationships that no longer align with where you're going. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Because at the end of the day, success and mental strength are rarely built alone. They are forged in the company of people who challenge, inspire, and push you to become your best self. So take a moment and reflect. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are they helping you grow? Or are they keeping you stagnant? Because the truth is, your environment will either be your greatest asset or your greatest limitation. Choose wisely. And